A tornado outbreak is expected today for October 10th, 2021. Storms could produce strong tornadoes, some of which could be long track, as well as significant large hail and strong damaging winds across the central and southern plains. So if you guys live within those areas, I highly recommend tuning into the video and tuning into my live stream that I will be conducting around 4:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time to try and get the information out as much as possible about what those storms are going to be doing, as well as conducting live radar analysis. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Nate. I also go by Hockey Boy and Nate. We are now going to be talking about the timings of this event in this video. We're not going to touch anything on Monday or Tuesday, even though there are severe weather events that are going to be happening over there. But it's just for right now, we're going to give as much information as we can about the timings of this event and how everything will be portrayed further on. If you guys are new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all the latest weather information that I will be providing for you all. Give a like on the video if you do enjoy it, as well as like it to boost YouTube's algorithm to try and share this with as many people's platforms as possible. That would also be greatly appreciated. And another way to help me get the word out is to share the video with friends and family and on social media. Looking at the satellite analysis here, the same thing that we look at the beginnings of all of our videos, we have a couple things that I would like to point out here. First off, we have our low pressure system that we were talking about last night in our live weather briefing, and that was creating our severe weather event up in the Dakotas and Minnesota. That is going to eventually head off into Ontario, but still cause a little bit of severe weather into places like Minnesota, Michigan, and it actually even leaks a little bit further into Wisconsin. So do not be surprised if you guys get a random severe storm in your general area. But the main thing that we're going to want to look out for here today is this little dip in the jet stream right here. You guys can see this little white line that extends almost kind of like a snake. And right about here is where the other low pressure system is going to be. It rotates counterclockwise in this instance, has a lot of dry air to back it, which means that it probably will have a dry line setup that I've been talking about in my videos previously. And this is going to protrude all the way through the northern panhandle of Texas into Oklahoma. And that's where we're going to see our significant risk for severe weather. And if you take a look at the convective outlook here, you can see a couple of things. First off, the light green here, which is just a general thunderstorm risk. So if you see that, don't really pay too much attention to it. It's just general thunderstorms. You could see severe weather, but it's kind of unlikely. The things that you should pay attention to in this instance are the areas in the dark green, which is a 1 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, other known as a marginal risk. You have an area of yellow over here, which is a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, indicated as a slight risk. Areas in orange, which is a 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, other known as an enhanced risk. And the red area right here is a 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, indicated as a moderate. And the main reason that is because if you take a look at the tornado probabilities, they are pretty expansive. I mean, look at this. At the bottom of your screen, it tells you what all cities are impacted within the specific areas. So if you want to take a look at that out of curiosity, feel free to do so. But the main area here that we can see is the 2% chance for tornadoes, which is in green, 5% in brown, 10% in yellow, 15% in red. And what that means is whatever probability you have, that is your chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of a point. And that is pretty expansive. We have a very wide variety chance of tornadoes here within this area that is happening in October. It's not April, it's not May, it's in October. And that's the thing that's kind of freaky about this, is that this stuff is happening now of all times. Now, the one thing I do want to point out here is that most of you probably have already noticed there's a black circle with dotted lines in the middle of that. And what that means is that's that significant severe risk right here. That's what it's talking about. And that's just basically a SIG risk or a hatched risk. And what that means is it is a 10% chance or greater probability of you seeing an EF2 to EF5 tornado. That's what I mean by strong tornadoes, which ends up going up to be over 100 miles per hour, somewhere along the lines of 110 miles per hour and above. And so that's the one thing there that could easily do damage across the board. And we really need to be mindful of this as this continues to progress, with a 15% chance of tornadoes already. And even if you take the significant severe risk out of it, it would just be the 15% chance for tornadoes. That in itself is still a very significant risk, a significant chance for tornadoes to actually form. So that's the sheer magnitude of today's event, according to the Storm Prediction Center, and we really need to be mindful of this when we do our live stream today. Now, tornadoes are not the only threat here today. Of course, we also have our significant wind. It's not super significant, though. They don't actually have that significant severe risk out there. Would not be surprised if you saw some damaging winds in upwards of 70 miles per hour, though. But 5% in brown, 15 in yellow, 30 in red, and whatever probability you have, that is your chance of seeing severe weather. Severe weather, significant winds upwards of 58 miles per hour and above within a 25-mile radius. So definitely something to watch out for there. But the other thing here, the reason why hail is probably going to be the primary threat in towards the beginning and the middle is because supercells are expected to form somewhere over here near Lawton, Oklahoma. And that's really going to be the main thing there. It's going to be supercells initially, and then it's going to form into a giant line after it passes through Oklahoma and Norman. So basically the OKC metro area as it passes across that. So that's going to be the real thing to watch out for. And we do have that significant severe risk for hail, which indicates a 10% chance or greater of 2-inch size hail or larger within a 25 miles of a point. And if there wasn't a significant risk there, of course, it would just be whatever probability you have. That is your chance of seeing 1-inch size hail or larger within 25 miles of a point. So now we're going to take a look at the timings of this event. We're going to take a look at the simulated reflectivity here provided by Pivotal Weather. I'm choosing this is because we can actually see the names of the cities from multiple places. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Oklahoma. Then we're going to take a look at Northeastern Texas after that. And then finally, we'll take a look at places along Arkansas and southwestern Missouri as well. So let's get on with it. If you want to take a look at the time, it's at the top left-hand corner below the 1 km AGL reflectivity. You'll see that it actually is in Central Time for you all. And what happens here is around 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time to 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time, that's when things end up starting to form, somewhere around here now. So a little bit earlier than anticipated. That's the reason why I'm expecting to go live sometime around 4 o'clock, 4:30. I might actually go live even earlier than that, sometime around 3:30 or yeah, probably around 3:30, maybe even Central Daylight Time. But sometime around then, that's when we're going to want to watch out for these showers and thunderstorms to form. They end up forming somewhere near Elk City and Lawton, Oklahoma. So we really need to watch out for that, especially if that continues to progress. The storm motion ends up being somewhere to the east-northeast. And so you'll see here by 5 into 6 p.m., you have some strong storms, some of which can even become supercellular, that ends up going just directly in between Elk City and Oklahoma City. And then you also have some storms that are going up through here near Stillwater, and that's going to be the beginner portions of the line that's going to end up heading into extreme southeastern portions of Kansas and into southwestern portions of Missouri. And that's also what Tulsa is going to be impacted with as well. And so by 6 p.m., those storms start to form. By 7 p.m., Oklahoma City is now in the crosshairs of this massive storm that's going to start to want to move on through. And we're also going to see the beginning effects of this new line that's going to form south of that, probably near Wichita Falls, down to Graham. That'll eventually move off into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So it's just one of those things where we really need to watch out for how those storms form, when they form, and how significant they end up being within a short period of time. As we continue to move along, you can see how the line near Oklahoma City officially moves on through into Stillwater again, but you have another round of storms that is anticipated another hour later around 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The line that goes into Texas is starting to consolidate more and more, and this will continue to push on through. The HRRR still says that there is the potential for supercells out in front of the line, so I would not be surprised if that would be the case as well. This supercell, might be somewhere down south, might be further east, might be further north. So don't think as if that is actually set in stone either, all right? It could happen anywhere, and that's the main reason why they have such a large risk for tornadoes within that area. And then the line continues to progress further and further. It starts to move past Fort Worth right about now, probably around 9:30, 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, heading on through into Dallas at approximately 10:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and even into Tulsa around 10:30 to 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and even further and further along, eventually towards Joplin and Van Buren. So there's a lot of activity here anticipated, and then it'll clear out a little bit past midnight if you live in Oklahoma here. Now taking a look at areas in northeastern Texas, of course, this is around 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and this is when the line starts to form from Wichita Falls all the way down to just to the east of Abilene, and this will continue to push on through. You can see the line really starts to congeal, and Weatherford starts to get into the action about 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Heading on through to around 9 to 10, Dallas-Fort Worth gets the action, Cleburne gets the action, Killeen could be getting some activity right around 10:30. Would not be surprised if Waco also got into the action, and maybe even Austin as that gets further down. Dallas gets it at around 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time, heading on through into Paris. You guys could be getting that at around midnight. Austin, same thing, around midnight when you guys could be getting your activity, and this line will continue to push on through. Probably not as significant as it was a couple of hours prior, but still, College Station gets it, Tyler gets it, areas near Texarkana also gets it, even at around 2 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and that'll just continue to push on through even towards Shreveport at around 4 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Now checking out Arkansas here, the storms are going to start to move into your general vicinity at around midnight and moving on through into 1 a.m. Not really expected to be a whole lot, but near Fort Smith and Mena, you guys could potentially get some activity there, as well as Fayetteville. Would not be surprised if you had some lingering showers and thunderstorms. Of course, I mentioned Texarkana could get activity around 3 to 4 a.m., but nothing really expected too much from Arkansas here from this event, so that's the good news in that regard. Now taking a look at Kansas here, you can see there's some scattered showers and thunderstorms that'll move on through Wichita and maybe even Salina in some spots right around 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, but then the actual activity will start to begin to push on through, and areas south of Topeka and Olathe will get some activity, and you can see how those storms really start to elongate themselves as they push on through, even towards Kansas City and Lawrence. So a lot of activity over there that is expected from these showers and thunderstorms, even into the late evening and into the overnight hours as well. You can also see in the southeastern portions of Kansas heading on towards Pittsburgh, some showers and thunderstorms are expected within your area at around 10 to 11 p.m., maybe even a little bit later as the low pressure system continues to move on through, and finally into Missouri. And of course, speaking of Missouri, we're also going to be talking about that as well. Now, I know there's going to be a football game tonight. The Kansas City Chiefs are hosting the Buffalo Bills. Good luck to both teams, but there is expected to be some showers and thunderstorms around the area tonight, so that might be a bit of an ugly football game in regards to the actual play, but it's still one of those things to where it is what it is, and you're just going to have to hope for the best if you're both teams. But you can see how showers and thunderstorms are expected to be around the area at around 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, I'd say, more or less, not the significant severe ones. And then you might get a little bit of a break around kickoff. Of course, some showers and thunderstorms in other areas like Clinton all the way up towards the northwestern portions of Missouri, heading off into the northeastern portions of Missouri, could get some scattered showers and thunderstorms as well. And then heading off through into 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, that's when Kansas City starts to get some activity. So I'd say around 9:30 to 10 is when you guys could get your showers and thunderstorms sometime in the latter stages of the second quarter into halftime. Would not be surprised if that was the case. So make sure you bring your ponchos, bring 2 ponchos just in case if you think that one is not going to be as effective. Always be prepared in that sense if you're going to a football game. I only know because I go to Baltimore Raven football games, and they usually have rain showers in their games for whatever reason. And so just be prepared. Highly recommend doing that. Don't want to catch any sort of bugs. Now, the only thing about this as well is that here's the severe weather event that's going to move on through into southwestern portions of Missouri. And you can see how the line continues to congeal and actually is expected to move on through areas like Joplin and Jasper right around midnight. So midnight is when we're expecting these big time storms to move on through, and even into Clinton and around 1 a.m. And Kansas City will get that activity as well too, even overnight. So if you were to ask me as to which areas would be more significant, probably areas south of Kansas City heading on towards Joplin, maybe even further south of Joplin as well. But just this general area right here that'll head off into Springfield Would not be surprised. And then we can even see that as this continues to move on through into the early morning hours of tomorrow. You can see some scattered showers and thunderstorms that is expected to congeal across portions near Springfield and eventually further to the east of that, maybe even towards the north and east of that. And just for a courtesy, we're also going to take a look at where these storms end up heading, especially towards St. Louis. And you can see your showers and thunderstorms are expected to be not early morning hours, sometime around 8 to 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time within your general vicinity. If you're going to ask me as to whether or not these could be significant, probably not. I think tomorrow's event would probably be a light tornado event. And what I mean by that is there's not a lot of energy, but they still can produce tornadoes. So it'd just be these mini little thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes across the board. So definitely need to watch out for that if your area's over there in Illinois and Indiana. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications, share this with friends and family and on social media. Follow me on social medias. Link will be in the description down below. As I said, I will be live streaming today. So if you want to come out to my severe weather live stream, feel free to do it. It's sometime around 3:30 to 4 o'clock Central Daylight Time, 4:30 at the latest. And we will be covering these storms in its entirety. We'll be going into what's happening within the thunderstorms, whether or not they can produce tornadoes. If they are producing tornadoes, how strong are they? Where are they going to be going? What are some of the other factors that are going to be making this significant? All those questions I will hopefully have an answer for in those live streams. And if you live in those areas and you just want to see what's going on, feel free to come back. I will be giving you guys that information. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later on this evening. So peace out, everyone.